It's an Ask 5 mashup. Join Jan and I and the 12 industry thought leaders we had in season 1 of the Ask 5 interviews as we start a new series where we are going to be tackling each question where you'll hear all 12 answers. Today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast. You've reached the WB&L Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where real estate and reality meet. And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson. Well, welcome to the WB&L Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where real estate and reality meet. This is episode 249, and you can find all of those show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Since January of this year, Jan and I have been interviewing thought leaders within the real estate industry, and it's a little series we've called Ask 5. We've concluded season 1 of that, which is the first 6-7 months of the year, and we are now starting a little series of shows for you that actually is a mashup of all of those answers to the 5 questions. These have been great interviews because we've learned a lot about what made each one of these individuals tick, what got them into the business, where and how they ended up doing what they're doing today. All of them extremely successful and really are making big, huge impressions in their marketplace right now. So good stuff from them. If you want to learn more about each one of our guests, in the show notes today over at WBNLpodcast.com, we have all their bios, all their contact information, and all the links to their social media and just everything you want to know about those our guests. So make sure you head on over there and check it out. So without further ado, let's start with question number 1. What is the best idea you have for your SOI and past clients? Let's get to the gang.
Thinking back on what was really good out of all those multiple things that you need to do was the housewarming party. I mean, I'm not kidding you. That was not only that was fun. It was easy to put together once you had a system in place of where you get the food, who's going to be your partner, and usually I got the lender that was helping me with the buyer to partner with me if they were local. If they were not, I would get my preferred lender, if I didn't have that business, for my preferred lender, and have them come and help me, and they would get all the glory, right? So wonderful. Getting there with that housewarming party, meeting their sphere of influence, meeting the buyers who just moved into this beautiful home that you didn't know how to crack slab, but it does. You know what I mean? It looks pretty. So, bringing those people together, and you get to shake hands and you get to be the hero, and it really it grew my database quicker, and it just deepened my relationships much faster.
So what worked for me is another idea that I use from WBNL and Jen is that newsletter, that monthly newsletter that you send out. Nice. So you send monthly newsletter with what's out there, how the market is shifting, or how interest rate is up and down, just kind of teaching them about the real estate market. And remember, these are past clients. They worked with you, which means they trust you. They worked with you and they still open your newsletter because you get notification when they do unsubscribe to your emails. They're still opening your emails. They're still looking at your newsletter. So they're interested to hear from you. I actually just got into a deal during the market shifting in the beginning when it was like the interest rate was in the 2%, because I sent a newsletter about that. And one of my clients that I helped them buy a house a couple of years ago reached out to me and said, listen, I'm ready for my second investment property. Let's do it while the interest rate is low. And we got in the house.
Newsletter, I'm a fan of that. That's the best one for me too.
Yeah, that's why I follow your leads.
All right, very good.
NAR, they just came out with their buyers and sellers survey, and I think I'm not sure on the statistics, but I think 80% of the buyers who had bought a home didn't remember the name of their agent. I mean, that's just crazy numbers, isn't it? Once again, sorry, I'm going to go back to module 2 of the WB&L coaching, because it really, Matt, you would be amazed. I had agents who were been in the business for 10 years, right? I have an agent in my office who, does 35, 40 closings, didn't have a database, does now, but didn't have a database. People say, oh, I'm in real estate. What they should say is I'm in marketing. Because if you're not marketing your business in real estate now, you're losing business, and staying in touch with your past clients. So your first year clients, you stop by in January and you drop them off their closing report for their taxes. then maybe every year. So you've got all of this calendared, right? On their anniversary of buying their home. Maybe you drop off a little happy anniversary with your AA batteries to change out their smoke alarms. Just find something that is personal and genuine and authentic for you. I know an agent who does every Thanksgiving. She does a lot of baked goods. Now, if you got a couple of hundred clients in your base, that's going to be a little, but I think she enrolls her kids and pays some high school kids, and they do drop offs. But who's doing those personal touches nowadays? I'm telling you, it's so effective, and it works so well. Those sort of things really come up, they're very authentic. And I think that's what you have to be now, is to be authentic and keeping in touch with your sphere and past clients.
Yeah. So, it is really just truly investing in people and relationships, right? It's caring for people, showing up when they're sick, dropping off, a box of tissue and hand sanitizer, whatever the case may be. So I think our best, idea for our SOI and past clients, like as the question reads on the screen there, is I would say it's our client parties. We love getting together with people. We love bread. The couple things that we do every year is we do a movie in the park. So I'm in the southwest Las Vegas area. So there's a park right by Wet and Wild, or whatever it's called now. It's a county park, right? So you don't need reservations or anything. And they have this perfect rectangular patch of grass, right? So I bought one of those inflatable movie screens and a projector. And, we usually hire like the corn dog on a stick truck or a taco guy or whatever. And we just invite all our clients, all their kids. So while the sun's still up, they can go play at the playground, they'll eat. And as we get to dusk, we'll throw the movie on. Everyone brings lawn chairs. Some people bring their coolers of beverages, and we sit down and we just enjoy a movie together, right? We have a popcorn machine, things like that, candies for the kids. So that's a great springtime idea, right? Where we can invite everybody. And so using the Buffini terminology, right? We invite that's the one we essentially invite all our A+, A's, B's, and C's. We invite everybody to that one. We usually get 200-ish people come out to that. Wow.
That's fantastic.
And everybody looks forward to it if you're doing it annually, right? They're like, when are we doing it?
It's, again, it goes to, one of the benefits of being on the team. That's something that, I'll take care of for our clients and for our team members. So it's just, another added benefit or value prop for them.
Yep.
And then I'll do a couple smaller A+ type events. So I won in a charity auction, I won a wine tasting for 20. So, we'll invite all our A+ clients to that, right? At Total Wine, for example. We'll do happy hours for our vendors, right? So, hey, we're not here asking you guys for referrals. We just want to thank you for taking great care of our people. And because if taking care of our folks, right, they're going to continue to refer us, right? If that whole process is seamless and smooth, they're gonna take everything and look at it as one. And so we do.
Well, that's different. Everybody is always asking the vendors to do something for you. That's right. We do something for them, and I love that idea.
And they always ask us when we do like the movie in the night park. We do a charity aspect to it. We always do there's a group we work with here in Las Vegas called Cup of Hope, and they help work with the homeless folks like right downtown. They have an RV where they can shower, they have clothing, they do food drives and food delivery, things like that. And so these vendors are like, we do if people bring an item to our client party, we'll give them a raffle ticket. The vendors are the first ones to ask us, hey, can I give you a gift basket? Can I gift card for your raffle? So that they're great for that. So it's amazing. And then in the fall, we do like a wine walk, right? So we used to partner with New Vista, which is an organization in town. But just during COVID, they stopped doing those, outdoor wine walks. And so I was like, well, heck, we're blessed with a new home, and we have a third of an acre yard. So I'm like, we're just going to do a wine walk in my backyard. So we just got some stations around the backyard, a couple different people come over. One of our clients is a chef, so she does.
Oh, that's awesome!
Boards and pizzas and all sorts of stuff, and we have food and a bunch of different wines, and people just hang out in my backyard.
What's the key here is fun. You're having fun.
No kidding.
And you're giving back, but you're having fun, man. It's not work. That's what I'm sensing.
So yeah, those are my SOI. Those are my biggest and best.
I'm just doing it straight up. That's what you do.
Houses are key.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get listings on open houses, and you can leverage those open houses, invite people to the open houses. your whole database should be invited to your open houses on a weekly basis. Invite the neighbors, invite people that may be in a lower tract that may consider moving up, like people in condos that may want to move into a single family. Invite those people to your open houses. And the more you can get out there, the more you can push them, the better they're going to be. But you got also have to develop the skills for the open houses and talk to your managers and your trainers and you guys to develop the skills on how to approach these people and what they're looking for. And fundamentally, on open houses, you got to know the market. You got to have product knowledge. And most agents just go and they just do it willy-nilly. You got to prepare. Preparation's 80% of the battle. So you got to go and look at properties. You got to go call listing agents and find out, tell me about the seller, where they're moving, when do they need to be there. You got to go into these houses and see what they have. The pictures don't say it all. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
Right. And if you can talk in that language and you can talk to, there's a house down the street, the seller really needs to move. The agent told me they need to be in Arizona by summer, and I think there's a lot of flexibility in the price. Do you want to take a look at it? It would be a great deal for you, whatever. And buyers are looking for opportunities, right?
So I've renamed this.
Okay.
Date your business.
Hey.
So treat it like you're trying. I call it a seduction game. And not necessarily in that way, but like, what would you do when you're dating someone? Like, you're so attuned to somebody when you're dating them. It's different than, let's say, marriage. You get a little complacent and you don't appreciate as much. I hate that that's the things that go with dating and marriage as far as what we think of. But when you write a personal note, like, make it mean something. When you make a phone call, don't just have the ask, like, really care. Like, when you send a gift, make sure it matters. Be consistent. So I'm relationship based all the way, but I've tweaked it. I call it Date Your Business. So I anchor it in. Even the CRM, which everyone is like, oh yeah, CRM. I renamed it the Cash Ready Machine. You got to keep making deposits in there, right? Like, something to play with, right? Awesome. So, and I'll say, don't ask for withdrawals from your Cash Ready Machine unless you have made deposits, right? You'll get overdrawn.
That's awesome.
Very good.
All right, Date Your Business. I have never heard that. I love it. Okay, beautiful.
Well, Jan, it's very simple. It's easier than anybody can think of it. You can make money every single day if that's what you want. I'll tell you, the heart and the soul of our business, it's built on, I can put honesty, working hard, be consistent, accountable, treat your people right, but all this is fantastic. All this is beautiful because, I'm talking about myself personally. I used to, when I did the classes and the coaching, not the coaching, I'm sorry, I'm not a coach. I cannot put myself on your level.
You are a coach.
No, I'm not. No, trust me. So when I used to just, helping the agent to learn the business, I realized I was making big mistake. Why? I give them all the tools, how to be successful, how to do the right market analysis, the CMA, how to negotiate your commission, how to do all the right paperwork. And then they didn't produce. And it just drove me crazy. I said, I don't understand. And then I was in the class and I have about maybe 20 something of the realtor in the class. And I said, I don't understand, you guys. What's freaking wrong? I talk an hour, 2 hours every day of my time, and I don't see any positive. I don't see no buyers and no sellers. Mm-hmm. And the minute I said that, I stopped. Then everybody thought I had a heart attack or something. They look at me, they said, you're okay? I said, yes. I said, listen, I want to apologize to you. I said, I was very frustrated, but it is my fault. They said, what is your fault? You know what? You are too kind to us. I said, no, because I never told you where you find buyer or sellers. Right? It is just blink. And Here's what I would like to share with everybody. Without, of course, our business, without buyer or sellers, you cannot make no money. Where are you going to find buyer and seller? It is as easy as possible. Number one, your telephone. Everybody working with that phone, and you have a contact. When you get the phone from whatever the company is, it does not come with the contact. You enter these people in your database. That's all you have to do. Again, I'm not good with numbers or math, but let's just assume you go through your phone, start with the letter A, B, C, D, whatever you want to do, and you reach out to 5 people every day, right? It just happened, I think, in this country, 365 days a year. You multiply by 5, right? Matt, you can do the number, but anyway, it's about 1,700, right? Contact you can make. Okay, what is the logic number? They said between 3 to 7%. If you really hit 1%, you will be a multi-billionaire. But we don't do it. You know what they said? I'm going to tell you the other stuff, by the way. You know what's really very upsetting? I'm sure, John, you know that, and Matt, I'm sure you know that. Everybody knows what they need to do, but they choose not to do it.
Absolutely.
When we're sitting in the class and we try to share with our realtors the experience, or we're sharing ideas with them, some of them, they start look at the ceiling, they counting the tiles. I say, are you paying attention here? They said, yeah. I said, yeah, what? I heard that, I know that. I said, well, this is the problem. Yes, you know that, but you don't use it, you don't apply. This is the people you know.
I know, that's the point.
Exactly.
You know what? Here is the dialogue. They tell me,
5 a day.
I did not talk to these people for 10 years. What would you like to say? Here is very simple dialogue. Hi, this is Youssef from ABC. Hi, this is Youssef. Of course, they know you because they're going to see your name, your phone number, and the display. Hi, Youssef, how you doing? Good. Listen, you're not going to believe this. You know what? I know we didn't talk for a long time. I just grabbed my phone, and guess what? Your number was in front of me. I felt horrible. We did not talk all this time. Just, I want to say hello. Do not try to ask them if they want to buy or they want to sell. Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because we are a human. We are all mentally programmed to ask the same stupid question, which is, first, how are you? How you doing? Okay. Mm-hmm. How is everything with you? This is, we all, like when you get birth, they tell you this is the 3 things you have to say. So the minute they say to you, well, hi, how you doing? How's everything? All you have to say, well, it's very great. It's really, I'm very busy. The real estate, the market is great. It's right now, it's very hot, and, I'm working very hard, but I'm very lucky, to be, helpful to the people. Now, you told me on the real estate, but do not ask. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I love it.
This is the easier way to do it.
Yep. And you just helped everybody with why the fear of, I don't know what to say, or I'm embarrassed that I haven't talked to them. So
just be yourself.
Skip that little speech right there.
It's just consistency. I run into a lot of intensity with agents at different times, and intensity is great, but the curve goes up and goes down. And I try to teach and coach consistency, because ultimately that, and what particularly outreach, it takes 8 postcards to create awareness, it creates 8 more to create acceptance. So there's runway in this business that you have to be prepared for. And so I think there's a lot of companies that promise a lot of things. There's no silver bullet, there's no easy button, there's no special widget that's going to take the place of any of this. I think if I can drive value at the touch points for agents, so whether that's an open house or whether we create an event for a young agent that is surrounded by millennial potential buyers and we get them into a first-time home buyer situation, it's in the real world. It's not behind the screen that I need to get these agents. They've grown up behind the screen, and statistics show that social media is not where people are finding their agent. That's where an agent can augment value, but the numbers show it's a it's in the single digits as to where did you find your agent online on social media? No, they didn't. And so it's in the real world. And that's the big push that I have to get with new agents and even old agents. And Matt, you mentioned the pandemic. We all got really bad habits during the pandemic, thinking that we could do everything behind here. Obviously, we learned, like your program, that we can do a lot of good, but we're not sealing the deal unless we're out pressing the flesh. And so that's number one for me is consistency and getting out.
You don't know what I'm going to say. I mean, working relationally, joining, Buffini and Company. I put all my faith and all my eggs in one basket, and it was the best thing I've ever done. Mm-hmm. I got caught in that shiny object syndrome, which I'm trying to keep our agents away from. It's like, don't do what he or she is doing, because it might not be right for you. But what will work, I don't care who you are, is working relationally. So to answer your question, my sphere and past clients, I'm at that time in my life, which takes time, but the phone just rings. They know who I am. They know what I do. I'm not a secret agent. I have to continue loving and servicing my clients that I cultivated all of these years. So I am an active broker, but very clear. I want to make it very clear, not a competing broker. And I think that's what really needs to be.
So come from that place. Your suggestion is, your advice and what you teach is, you've got to stay in touch and nurture and a la the Brian Buffini method, which is the simplest, easiest, show items of value, stay in touch, do Popeyes. It's you tell them that's what you need to do. You got to talk to them.
It's so simple.
Okay.
It is just so simple. I cringe a little bit. I really do when I hear my agents going, "Oh, I just bought some leads," when they don't even have systems in place to run the leads, to cultivate the leads. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I think the pandemic really proved to how to stay in front of your clients the most. And some overdid it. I would hear from friends of mine, and my agent calls me like every other week, right? But they're to me, and what we try to really get the message across to our agents is staying in touch with those past clients. And for a lot, they struggled during some of the pandemic times because you have older clients, they just weren't getting up and moving, right? They just were not. But you had to stay in touch. You had to be in front of them. You had to let them know that you're there. And 2 years later, now all of a sudden the movement is occurring, right? They're calling them back and they're saying, okay, we think we're ready, right? It's tapping into that past clients for not only for their business, but to establish yourself as a strong referral agent, right? And I think that's where our business today, because of a lack of inventory, is relying on a lot of your past clients, your sphere of influence, to help you continue to build your business. So it's really staying in front of them and doing those kind of activities, bringing them, again, opportunities, where they may be, and what to do with that equity in their home, and not to just let it sit there, but let's look at an investment. Let's look at helping your kids. Let's look at a second home in the mountains, things along that line. So I think that's what we've been really pushing to our agents in being in front of them. I think client appreciation parties are going a long way these days. For so long, people were cooped up, and now that things have really, been open for quite a while. Yeah. But I think these client appreciation events have really helped agents continue to build their business. And I'm hearing all kinds of fun stuff that they're doing. Everything from, here, axe throwing bars are really big deals.
We got a few of those now.
Yeah. You got baseball season. So, early on when the Rockies were struggling a little bit more than they are today, seats were very, very affordable. So to get a group of a couple other agents and, get 100 or 200 seats was just a fun event. And Coors Field is just a great place to entertain. Top golf type of events, things along that line where everybody can participate. But those are, I think, the things when I look at where business is going to come from when we lack inventory, when you look at the difference in the business today compared to, 10, 15 years ago, no one's got landlines. So cold calling has been very, very challenging. And, you could buy lists, but most of those lists are just, made up phone numbers and things along that line. So, and it's open houses definitely is that opportunity. But I think really staying in touch with that.
I like what you said there it's like, this is the thing I keep hearing. You've said it a couple of times and I love it. It's like the agent, and this is probably what I bet you're helping them with, obviously, is how to pivot with where the opportunities are in the current market. Mm-hmm. So for your market, it is potentially second homes. You have equity. Maybe you don't want to sell. So not everybody thinks like that. They want to do it the way they've always done it. And now the market shifts and they're behind the times. And so that's powerful.
Yeah, I mean, we have unbelievably, like most places, we have an unbelievably strong rental market, right? Yeah. And the rules have changed around rentals unbelievably. I don't know about other parts of the country, but here it's making it more challenging for a homeowner to be, because they want that. I think what the government or whomever wants is the opportunity for first-time home buyers. But if we have investors coming in, paying cash and turning around and using these properties as rentals, it's right. It lessens the pool of properties available for the home buyers here. So they've made some challenges there for landlords and definitely for Airbnb. The rules have changed. And so we just have to look at different opportunities. But the only way you're going to be able to present something is to make sure you're staying in front of your people.
Well, yeah, and you're ingraining in your agents once again, that this is not a one and done business, right? It's all about relationships.
So without running the risk of being the most boring guest you've ever had, talk to them.
Oh,
I know it's a novel concept.
Exactly.
But whether whichever program of coaching or anything else that you subscribe to, it's being the person that they most recently interacted with. Depending on which statistic you believe, people know somewhere between 8 and 14 realtors. Why are they going to use you? Because you're the one that most recently interacted with them. That's it.
Yep.
So if you don't have systems and processes in place to make sure that whether that's a phone call, text, email, coffee, drink, or a postcard or some email newsletter or something like that, but you can't rely on just one thing, it's got to be a combination thereof.
Okay.
And so,
I love that.
In my homage to Justin Timberlake, I like to call it bringing not very sexy back.
Now I got that song in my head.
Right. This is my favorite one. And here's the problem. Agents come to me and they want to get started. They're like, I want to do this, want to do that. And so one of the questions I ask them, I said, you have past clients? They say, yeah. I say, how well do you keep up with them? Okay. How about your sphere of influence? How about the people you talk to on a regular basis? How do you do with that? So I look at them and I said, have you ever had to say, I'm sorry? And they go, well, yeah. I said, okay, this is, let's call it the I'm sorry campaign. Then you take every single one of your past clients and that's where you start. You reach out to them and you call them. And the minute they answer, you said, hey, Joe, it's Barry Aldridge. I'm so sorry I haven't spoken to you sooner. I should have been calling you a long time ago, but I just want to call to apologize because I really, life got in the way and I really want to apologize for not being in touch sooner. You know what they're going to say? Oh man, that's no problem. I get it, and then you can go on and have the conversation. How's the house? How are the kids? Is everything good? And end it with, hey, listen, I hope you'll keep me in mind. And again, I apologize. And there's, it's just the apology campaign, right? Just go out and talk to all those people.
That's awesome.
And it has gained more business for my agents than any other single thing that I've done. I said, at some point, stop being afraid to call them and just go ahead and then own it and say, I apologize for not calling you. I should have called you sooner. Yeah. And it just takes all you'll learn this about me as I have an outside the box way of thinking about everything. I tell the agents, just do that and just kill that problem right off the beginning, and you'll find that it wasn't nearly as bad a problem as you made it out to be, because that's the very thing that kept you from calling them, right?
Exactly. That's why they're not doing it.
Right. So for us, we just say the I'm sorry campaign.
Okay, I'm sorry campaign. I dig that. I love it.
That's awesome.
All right.
Well, there you have it. That was the compilation of the 12 answers to that question. Some similarities there, a lot of great information to be shared, some good tips and ideas as well. So hope you enjoyed that. Come back over the next few weeks. We're going to be dropping the remaining 4 questions of the Ask 5 with the same thought leaders before we jump into the second season, which is the second half of the year here. Now, next week at episode 250, we have a very good friend of ours who we haven't talked to in quite a while, Rick Hudson. Rick Hudson is the master of franchise development and author of a new book that's just now coming out. He's going to be joining us next week in episode 250 of the Wandering But Not Lost podcast. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, if you want more information on any of the interviewees that we've had on in the Ask 5 so far this year in season 1, just go over to our show notes at WBNOpodcast.com. This was episode 249. All that information is here, and we will see you next week. And remember, get up, get out, live the life you've dreamed, and be forever wandering, but not lost.